name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator on the Central Coast of New South Wales, and this is my Make It Monday for this week. I'm going to be looking at a retired stamp set and dies called the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set and dies. It's a beautiful stamp set and dies. It was a suite a couple of years ago, and but it was carried over with the paper that matched it. That didn't carry over, but it's been a beautiful stamp set, and I'm a bit sad it's retiring, but anyway, we'll always get beautiful new ones. So this will be my Makeup Monday, so just bear with me while I turn the phone around and we'll get started. Okay, so this is the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set. It came in 2 cases and I combined it into one because it would fit for me, and then I used the second case and I put the dies in that. So these are the 2 items we're going to be using, or there's a third item as well. We're going to also use the Subtles embossing folder because sadly that's also retiring. So here are a couple of, well, here's one card that I made a while ago using the Magnolia stamp set. So I heat embossed, I think it was copper embossing powder that we had, and coloured it in with the whitewash and then just a bit of sponging in the centre. Funnily enough, the Magnolia embossing folder isn't retiring. So these are a couple of cards I've used the embossing folder. So that's not retiring. So I'm not quite sure why not, but anyway, that's good because it is a nice embossing folder and there's some great things you can do with it with very minimal stamping. So that's the Magnolia embossing folder. So let me just go to my catalogue. So here's the stamp set. I'll just make sure that's in view. Yes, it is. Here's the stamp set. So it's on the retired list. It's not discounted at all, but that's everything you get in the Magnolia stamp set. What is this? These are the dies up here. Now the dies are actually 10% off, so they come down to $54.90, and the Subtles embossing folder is also 10% off, so it comes down to $15.75. Now when I looked at the sold out list yesterday on the website, these hadn't sold out. Quite a few other things already had, but these ones hadn't. So I'll put my catalogue to one side and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm using a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock, a little strip of DSP out of the World of Good suite, which is also retiring, which is another one that I'm a bit sad about because it's a good masculine one or travel one. Not that we can travel, but anyway. And I'm using a piece of Sahara sand, which I've also already run through with the embossing folder, the Subtles embossing folder. So that's going to go like that. And I'm going to, so we can put that aside. I'm going to actually stamp on vellum and heat emboss it with white embossing powder. Now, you'll notice that the embossing powders are retiring as well, but they're coming back in a different format. So don't panic that we're not going to have any embossing powders, we will. I've just got to find my little puffy pillow for my heat embossing. It's normally right here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Just fallen down behind something. So I need, what do I need? I need my biggest block. So I don't have that on my desk because I hardly ever use it. So let me just grab it. Or do I need my biggest block? Yes, I do. silly me. I tend, if I've got to use a really big stamp now, I tend to use my Stamparatus. I just find it's a bit easier than the big block. I'll just make sure I'm still in view, yes. Still trying to work out the exact right place for me to do this with my stand. I think I'm getting it. So my piece of vellum is a little bit too big, but I'd rather have it too big than too small. So I shall ink up the magnolia. With Versamark. And it doesn't really matter where I put it because we're going to cut it out with the dies. I might do it this way. So I'll just press it down nice and hard. Put that to one side. Bring my white embossing powder in. So there's lots of things on the retirement list. Some things were 75% off. I've never seen things that reduced in the past. But as you can appreciate, people jumped on quickly and secured those little bargains. So I'm just going to use my heat tool. So I'll turn the volume off for this part so you're not deafened by the heat tool. Oops. Just get rid of the little bit of powder that was left behind. Now, I shall put that there and I will get the dye out. So it's this big one. And I'll just get my embossing machine. So we just line the die up. You probably don't need washi tape for this. Now I've said that, it'll probably move all over the place and not cut out the way I want it to. You know what? I'm not going to risk it. The vellum is a little bit curly once it's been heated. Just make sure that's lined up. Yep, that should do it. And just put this through. So that's cut quite well. I'm happy with that. I'll put that down there. I'll just move the embossing machine. Now, I'll just get my So we've had a little bit of a preview of the new in colours the demonstrators have, and they're really nice. I'm sure you're going to love the new in colours that are coming in. Really, really nice. So I'll just put a bit of seal on this. So you all know that your card matting the size of your card matting for a standard size card is 10 centimetres by 14.4, and that just gives you a little edge right round your card and mats perfectly onto the front of your card. It's a shame to cover up this specialty paper, but I want the mossy meadow part on the back. So I'll just have to grin and bear it. So I should have probably done that before I put that there, but anyway, I'm just going to eyeball the centre. There we go. I think it's a bit... I'm going to be annoyed if it's not centred, so I'm going to get my little ruler and just double check. 3.5. Yeah, I didn't think it was. So let me get a pencil. I'm being very pedantic about this. So that's the centre. It's 5. So if I put it, there we go, that should work. Make sure it's straight. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my brushes, my blending brushes, and I really like pink magnolias. They're the ones that are my favourite. So I think I'll use Blushing Bride. I'll do that first. Pinks, yes. So I've done a video on how I use my blending brushes. These are being carried over. I'm so happy about that. I ordered another pack just in case, but I didn't have to worry. They are being carried over. Now this might be a little bit dark, so I'll just see how I go. Greens. Oh yes, way too dark. So I wanted to get quite a bit off my sponge then. So I'm just putting a little bit of sponging onto the leaves, and it's Mossy Meadow ink that I'm using to match the card base. That's it. I might just get my cloth and give that green one a bit of a clean, because if I go back and use something like Pear Pizzazz, which is lighter, it will not be happy. Now the hardest thing about this is working out where to put the glue dots, because it's vellum. I can't really use dimensional, so I don't feel. I suppose I could put a dimensional under there. It wouldn't be seen, would it? Let's have a look. I had a class yesterday and I've got all these little leftovers, because I tend to use those. Once they get down to the edges, I look a bit scroogey, I think, if I'm asking my class to use the edges. So I don't mind, because I use the edges. So I don't think that will be visible. It won't. So if we go for... I'm making this up as I go, and I don't normally do that. If we go for spots that are a bit bigger, not sure. Don't know if I like that. Could probably put a glue dot there instead and just have it popping up a bit there, and that's what we'll do. So I'm not very good at doing things ad hoc. I normally have to have a plan. So I'm stretching my wings a little bit with this. I tell you what, these Makeup Mondays come around pretty jolly quick. And I think, oh, what will I do today? But then the retirement list came out last Thursday, so that has helped considerably. I might put one down there. The glue dots won't be visible if it's behind like a big piece of the embossing. I think I need one over here, but I don't know where, because it would probably be visible. I wonder if it'll be visible. Yeah, it'll be visible there. What about just in there? Okay, let's see how we go. We'll just take the backing off that. So it's going to be sort of a little bit raised, but not really. Kind of. And then the glue dots, where I've popped them randomly, will hold it down. So I can't remember if this is carried over. I hope it is, because it's nice. So this is the Mossy Meadow, what do they call it? Braided linen trim. I had to have a look at that. So I'm just going to do a little bow. There we go. And cut that off with my ribbon scissors. And my glue dots, what did I do with them? Oh, right here. I don't really like that bow. Let me have another little look. I like them a bit smaller. I can trim it down a bit more if I want to. Except now that glue dot's moved. That was silly. Try again. Can't believe we've got through this video without, well, we're not finished yet, without my puppy barking. That's a miracle. So I might just trim this down a little bit more. Like that. So I'll look up and see if this is retiring. I'll have a look at that. So when we go back to the stamp set, there's a hello, but there's also, I used this the most, I think, Enjoy Today and Thinking of You. They were the two sentiments I used the most out of this set. So I might stamp that on a little piece of Sahara Sand in the Mossy Meadow ink and just put my sentiment down here. And that'll finish off the card. So I'll post the card once it's finished. So that's just a very simple card using the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set and dies. I hope you enjoyed that card. Thanks for watching.